was an advertisement in the paper that there was a new church, New Methodist Church.
We chartered this church with 13 families in November of 1978. We were meeting at Holland Hall. The sanctuary was our first building project. They had the crane that was lifting the big stained glass window into place. And the tears just came down my face because I finally realized that it was going to happen.
It just appears to me that we're finally going to achieve what we intended to be.
There are a number of our people who are charter members. Were here when this church began, and they're very excited about where we're going. And it's been part of their vision since the day the first shovel of dirt was turned.
It just makes me full of joy to see it grow and to see the people grow.
Most of the attraction was the people we met here. They're very friendly, very open.
I think that was the main thing, was just the friendliness.
When I got there, I could tell people were real. I could tell they meant it when they said welcome. I could tell they meant it when they said we're glad you're here. I could tell that Linda meant it when she said that she was on your side or that God was working in your life or whatever. I could tell she meant it, and I was completely at home right away.
God put me next to the right person the first Sunday I visited, and that was Amy Robbins.
The first Sunday that we came together, I think Amy Robbins almost beat us home. We hadn't been home hardly 10 minutes and she was knocking on our door, and that was really nice.
But it was just that, the people and the way they accepted us.
Everyone seems to know each other and care about each other.
The people are what keeps me at faith and keeps me serving.
I think the people, their actions, their interactions, their love, their compassion, they make me feel just like I'm one of them. I love this church.
Well, first of all, we're a very diverse group of people. All ages, come from all walks of life. And I think people who come here are people who are seeking to be in a deeper relationship with God.
People feel like that they've found a place where they can be a disciple in the fullest sense. And so I think that they have a chance to express themselves in so many different ways here at Faith.
When I think of our church, I think of four things. I think of worship, I think of community, I think of children, and I think of mission.
Well, I feel that our worship service is the center of it all. That's the heart of the church.
There's something in every worship service for everybody.
I love music. Even though I don't do music, that is a strong part of the worship service.
I can't carry a note myself, so I depend on the choir and the bell choir and all the others to give me that lift that music does.
I like the praise and worship team, the music.
Praise and worship at the second service, the contemporary service, is fun to do. It's fun to be a part of, kind of creating that one voice to God.
It's a time to sing, a time to pray.
There are some times when I just want to stop everybody and just say, can you feel that? Do you know what that is? And it never ceases to amaze me.
My favorite part of the worship service is usually the sermon, because we have two very good preachers on staff right now, and there's always a message in there for us.
I feel that the pastors speak directly to me with every sermon they give.
When you walk into faith, you are certain that Linda's talking just to you. I mean, all the way to inside of you every time she speaks. And you know when she speaks to you, she means it. I think that is a real big key.
The meaning behind Linda's sermons are so wonderful. Every time, it's like sometimes you'll look around and all the children will just be staring at her. They won't be moving around. It's amazing.
I like Pastor Linda.
Yes. The choir and the preaching and communion. Those are the three things that bring me back to worship.
You are getting closer to the people around you, but also closer to God.
Of course, baptism is the central part of who we are as the body of Christ. Our in the family of God. When I talked to the Hochsteins about baptizing Isaac, and I got an email from Kirk, and he said, this is one of the most special days in our life. And I thought, that's right. That's what it's about. And baptism brings us into the family of God and claims us, names and claims us for the rest of our life. And to have the privilege of baptizing, an infant and naming that child as God's child is just such a privilege, just an amazing privilege.
Well, worship is central to the experience of faith, but for a person to find a place to belong, they need to connect also with a Sunday school or a small group in the church. Very important to have that experience to round out their faith journey.
I guess our Sunday school class means the most to us at this church. We really feel like they're our family away from family. We don't have anybody here in Tulsa, but we have our Sunday school class. And anytime that anything goes wrong, you better call one of them or they're going to be mad that you didn't include them in your activities and in what was happening in your life.
These are the people here at Faith that I depend on for my support. My children are not always close by and available, and my faith family are the ones that I look to help me get through.
This is my second home, and when I come here, I'm on cloud 9.
At Faith, if you come here almost any night of the week, there's something going on.
There's stuff going on all the time here.
There's always something going on.
It's always busy. There's always something, and it feels like home. You want to come.
There is always something to do here, some organization to be a part of, some group to be a part of.
It's softball, it's basketball, it's day center for the homeless, it's the youth activities on Wednesdays, it's talent show, it's a dinner for 8, it's Sunday school parties, every month. It's so much a part of so much of our life now.
We have Faith University. A number of other organizations meet here, like the Boy Scouts.
The Indian Princess program was something that sold us on this church, and what an amazing statement of mission just in that for dads to spend time with their daughters, which doesn't happen a lot.
But I think the reason people spend a lot of time here is because they think it's something worth doing. We make disciples of Jesus Christ here, and we touch people's lives. That's why they spend all that time.
And oh, by the way, there's usually some food involved.
I would rather my kids be here than anywhere else.
Look through the eyes of a child and you will see God.
Yeah, we have a great time teaching the kids. We try to teach them the Bible, try to teach them morals, and you just hope that whatever you're teaching them, they're going to take with them in life.
Bible Explorers, we do a lot of games, and we learn about God.
It gives them at least an appreciation for the Bible and to know where perhaps certain things can be found in the Bible. They love their times of snacks and recreation. Some of the first Bible Explorers I had are now graduating from college and becoming leaders in themselves.
I like the youth program a lot. I've been a part of it since I was in about 6th grade, and it's been a big part of my life for a while.
So much passion and a lot of energy that comes from our youth that they may be working on building a home one week, and the next week they'll be doing some kind of music presentation in our services.
We have an incredible youth director that is so gifted.
I really love Audra. She has done so much for me, and every time I'm with her, she makes me feel better.
She participates really well in our activities. She's really close with us.
She does a good job of including everyone, and we always have fun activities. Sometimes we do service projects, like a couple weeks ago we went to the homeless shelter, and you just serve plates of food, and we usually take cookies and fruit so that they get nutrition and they can also have a little something sweet. They get a good healthy meal to start off their week.
Well, I'm really excited to see we're having a college class starting over the summer, and we usually have something like over the Christmas break this year. We had a short college class, but I'm looking forward to this summer when we'll have a lot longer and a more in-depth study.
I think our mission has always been to provide a place for people to come and worship and grow in their faith and bring their families, a place for their kids to grow their faith too. I would not want to turn anyone away who choose to worship here with this family of faith. And we're getting to the point that we don't have a place for everyone.
A couple of times when I've ushered now at the 9:40 service, people have walked in, looked left, looked right, folding chairs lined up against the walls, and the overflow area full, and people shoulder to shoulder, turned around and left. Hated that.
You came to church. There was room for you. You were not turned away. God met you and drew you to a place where you needed to be. Would you be doing Christ's work if you denied that opportunity to the next person God's calling to this church? We need to always have space for one more.
Just as people, we like to be in that space in life where we're comfortable. You know, we know who we're going to speak to, we know what we're going to say, you know, and as long as we're in that comfort zone, it's pretty controlled.
Growth is never easy because we do have to step outside of our comfort zone.
But I feel like if we don't do that and become uncomfortable and break that ground out in the parking lot, that we'll never do what we were called to do.
And when you study the scriptures, that's exactly what Jesus was doing most of the time, is trying to move a lot of the people out of their comfort zones and to understand what the real meaning of God was all about.
When we do that, when we step out of our comfort zone, there's space for God to be moving in our life.
Forward with faith is, I think, stepping out in faith to realize the vision this church was meant to be.
We've got to move forward. We are getting so full, we need the extra space. We're being blessed by all these people coming in, but we have to be able to move forward, and the only way we can do that is with faith.
Forward with Faith to me is creating space for all programs, young children, youth, adult education, sanctuary space, admin. This is going to be the fix to create room for what we need to go forward.
I mean, they say open hearts, open doors, open minds for a reason. You can't open the doors if they're full.
And it will take all of us stepping out of our comfort zone to live into this building plan.
I just think we're at a crossroads right now. We need the space. We have a plan on the table. It's time for us to step up and make that plan happen.
We're getting too crowded, and we're getting new members all the time. So we have got to have something done. There's no two ways about it.
I just think that this is the right thing for this church to do.
So I just feel it's a very huge honor and a blessing to be part of this.
I'd like to suggest to everybody in the church, whether they are members or regular visitors, members of the faith family, that they stop and think for a minute. What would their lives be like if Faith United Methodist Church was not here? What hole would be left? What would be missing? And we need to think about that as we go into this Forward with Faith campaign, because I think that's when we get the real measure and value of what faith means to us.
The friendliness, the comforting, the support, it's everything rolled into one.
People invariably say there is something different about faith. And sometimes I feel like the Spirit is so alive that all we can do is hang on.
My friends are from this church. This is my family.
We live faith throughout the week, not just on Sunday.
Faith strings to me, staff, from the ministers, children's director, music. We have very talented people in all of those positions. Every Sunday, the sermons are excellent. The message that's hammered home, sometimes it's like it's for me.
It's changing the world by sharing God's love one person at a time. And I feel like that's what this church is about.
Well, I think about the strengths of our church, I think about our people, because our people are so involved in every aspect of the church's life. And that's what makes us strong in virtually every area of ministry. It's the people. They come here, they come not just to be a part of the worship service or not just to be a part of Sunday school, but they come because they want a place to serve. And that's how they live out their commitment. That's what makes us who we are.